I'm not 100% sure why we're live, but I don't know. It's probably mostly because I'm lonely. But there's a couple things we're about to talk about right now that I'm already seeing happen that's getting me real excited. I guess we'll say the first thing that gets me most excited is that if you look at the after hours right now, it's not Mullen down 23%, it's AMC down 23%. And it's not AMC down 23% and like, oh, they've been rallying. It's AMC's down 23% and they're at their all-time low of all time. So if you know that's why that's exciting, you should be pretty excited. If you don't know, let me tell you. So, and there's this, like, I'd love to speak as if everybody already knows what's what. Like, everybody already went back and saw what happened in 2021 for stock squeezes, you know? Like, that's how I want to speak, but it just seems like 90% of the world has no idea and has never looked at a stock. And it's frustrating to me. Like the way I have to speak in order to reach the person I'm trying to reach. The person who never invested stocks, but he's like, damn, this guy says stock gonna make me rich. Let's get rich. Like they know they missed the last ones. They know it was possible. They know people that got rich off of stocks. And so I know there's an appetite for it, but it just seems that everyone's so scared. Everyone's so scared. I mean, 10% of us are willing to die on this hill, but the rest of the world is just petrified that the last dollar in their account might go away. Did God tell you to fear about losing your money? Or did God tell you He will provide? Don't worry about losing money. Money ain't nothing. But at the end of the day, if we're willing to sacrifice the money, then doesn't that mean we're really the ones that deserve the money? If we're willing to watch our money burn and double down anyways, doesn't that mean we're the ones that deserve it? Like just from like who goes through the most pain gets the most accomplishment in sports, in academics. Like it doesn't matter what you reference. So if you just apply it to stocks, Mullen's the GOAT. But let's get back to AMC for a second. So if you really like are a genius, like I am, and you really watched what happened, because here's the thing, I didn't know about AMC and GameStop really until January 27th, 28th, 2021. Like there was already 2 million investors that bought in AMC and GameStop between $1 to $10 well before I even heard about it, and AMC was already at $20 by the time I heard about it. GameStop was at $483 by the time I looked into it. I heard about it a month before, but I didn't look. If I would have just known about Wall Street bets, like I would have been in it for sure. But here's the kicker. So the kicker is DFV, deep fucking value, the person they attribute GameStop to, is a distraction. He is a person who is paid to go be an actor, and he didn't really talk about GameStop nearly as much as everyone pretends he did. And as his YouTube progressed, basically if you look 6 months before his YouTube started to progress, AMC was already diluting hundreds of millions of shares for 6 months. Like at least 100 million shares, if not 150 million shares. So GameStop never diluted any shares. GameStop was going volatile but there was no dilution, hardly any. And then in January, when GameStop went all the way up, this is when DFV became a celebrity. His YouTube channel probably grew from 20,000 subs to 400,000 subs. And he got to go to the freaking U.S. testifying hearings or whatever. And what you don't understand is that AMC was the real threat. AMC was the company that makes $1 billion every year, regardless how much money they burn. GameStop can't prove that. GameStop was proving that they were losing money and that they had to change their business model. So GameStop couldn't go to the moon because the business model does not prove it can. Like, unless they become something else, they cannot dominate a market. And so, because that's true, and because you understand that AMC was really the only squeeze, and that AMC was the only real story in the last 3 years besides Mullen 2022, it gives you a whole new perspective on how stocks really work. But check this out. So if you understand that when they understood that AMC was being diluted at such a low price and they didn't want to pay nobody, and their reaction is always just try to get people to sell and bankrupt the company rather than like just send it to what it's worth and pay whoever got in early and just call it a day. Like, instead of being smart about it, they always love to fight about it. Don't ask me why. And so AMC, like, they do this COVID crap. They do, like, because AMC, the dip is being bought back in January 2020. That's when it hits its $1.83. Maybe it was March of 2020. But right as COVID's happening, no company got, like, more news about going bankrupt because of COVID than AMC. Like, you guys don't understand. COVID was brought to you by AMC because they're so petty and they wouldn't pay the 150 million shares that bought already. They said, let's go fucking start a pandemic to stop these motherfuckers and bankrupt this company. And they lost the battle. But here's the thing. So once they learned that they had to have the battle, they brought GameStop into the picture. They said, DFB, start making DD on GameStop so we can make you the hero in a little bit. And they made GameStop the bigger squeeze than AMC to distract from GameStop. Because here's the thing, AMC is a great business, but with what they were, they could only grow so much. And so because their market cap was $100 million, but because they do $2 billion in revenue since 1990 every single year, nobody was serious about their $100 million market cap. It was the only legitimate business of massive amounts of money that was just totally undervalued. Like, there was a lot of other companies like that, but nothing to this extreme nature. And so they do the COVID thing. Everything fails for them. We eventually get out of it. All that good stuff. Then so much dilution's been bought on AMC that they squeeze it to $20 and they start this GameStop thing to $483, and they create this whole narrative and they try to paint this narrative where everything's dead after GameStop and go back to your homes. The stock market's not going to save you. And then all of a sudden I show up and AMC's going to save you, I promise. 3 months later, AMC saves you. That's just how I roll. But here's the thing. So, why am I so excited right now that AMC is down 23% in after hours, and it's the low? It's basically, I'm pretty sure it just hit its 52-week low today in after hours. Why does that fucking excite me? It's because, as much as I know Mullen is the stock, and unlike AMC and all these other stocks, Mullen has an unlimited growth potential, and Tesla has already proved Mullen's potential. And so all Mullen has to do is prove that they are a step above Tesla in technology, in appearance, in distance, in recharge, in all the different things. And the second that becomes obvious to people, even if they're only sold 100,000 cars, the market cap would still be worth more than Tesla today. To this day. So, here's the thing. Why, again, back to AMC. So, don't think I'm trying to distract from Mullen, because I'm not. But why does it get me so excited that AMC's at the bottom? Because just like Mullen's gone through all these bullcrap SEC filings, just like we're not getting real outstanding share counts, just like we know there's a Fortune 500 contract and for 500,000 cars, and David Mitchell is literally blacklisted from telling us for 1.5 years so far. So just like all of that is true, AMC has something pretty special about it. And I know that AMC is going to have a stock squeeze, but because of APE and because of AMC and because of their option chains, I'm not touching AMC. Like, Mullen is going to the moon. You should not have $1 in AMC. You should all be a Mullen. But there's a lot of people in AMC that just, will never give up on it. And that's okay. And let them have their fight. Like, everyone can have their own fight, and we'll see whose fight was the best. But here's the thing about AMC. So, these retard motherfuckers get $6 billion in dilution in the years of 2020 all the way to middle of 2021. $6 billion in cash. They spend like $4 billion of this on debt. And so now they basically have no debt for 10 years, and they could restructure anywhere they want, whenever they want. They are cash rich on their books compared to their revenue and estimated earnings. AMC is a cash heavy company. But here's the thing. Right? Back in the day after the squeeze, this is 2 years ago, maybe a little bit longer now, the AMC CEO said, we're going to come out with popcorn you can buy at the store and all this other garbage. It's a $6 billion industry. AMC could probably have half of it. Literally, AMC could do so much if they made all the different types of popcorns. These weak-ass motherfuckers only bring us bagged popcorn. They don't bring us no microwave shit, because that's the real industry. But not only did they only bring us bagged popcorn, but it got sold out everywhere. And so, this was 6 months ago, 8 months ago, sold out everywhere. For 6 to 8 months, they have not produced one SEC filing showing how much profits they have made off the bagged popcorn they're producing and selling in fucking Walmarts. 6 to 8 months they've been blacklisted from sharing their profit. Think about that. Mullen's blacklisted. AMC's blacklisted. What the fuck is happening right now in our companies? In our fucking country? And so, the fact that AMC is hitting its 52-week low today when Mullen hits its 101, do you know about the 801 story with AMC? Let me fucking tell you about the 801 story with AMC. AMC goes to $20 back in January of 2021. It falls all the way down to $4. The dip gets fucking eaten up. We're back to $8 in less than 2 or 3 days. From here, we go to $13. We fall back to $8. And this is all over 2 months. We go to no, maybe not even that much, but we go to $13, $8. We go to $13, $8. We go to $13, $8. And I'm just losing my fucking patience at this point. This is middle of April, I believe. And I start drawing this graph on my computer as I'm live streaming for 8 hours. And I'm showing how we've hit this price three fucking different times. And every single time we went up 100% in the next 2 weeks. Every fucking time. So I'm fucking over it. I had $50,000 that I had in deep expiration options. And I said, I'm taking all this fucking money and I'm putting it on 2 weeks to expire with 50% out of the money. And if I hit it, I make 20x my money. And then I'm going to fucking cash it out, buy stock, buy more options, do whatever the fuck I'm going to do. But I'm fucking sick of this game. I'm sick of fucking waiting on this shit. And so, what happens? I bet my whole 50K into this, right? Instead of it holding the $8, for the first time ever, it breaks the $8 mark and it drops down to $7.12. Well, guess what? It falls down in 1 day, and the very next day we shoot up right past $8, and as they drop it back down, we close at 801. Shortly after this, so it was my options expired by time so this is in between the times my options are expiring. by the time my options expire, the stock price made it back to like $9, $9.50, and I had $10 and $11 strikes. The very next day, it hit like $10.80, and 2 days after that, it hit, I think, $12.50 or some shit. And so that 20x I was talking about, literally 3 days off, even making 4x my money off my 50K was like 1 day off. Like, I got fucked, bro. But here's the thing, it happened again. And so, here, once this happened though, once we hit that 801 and we ran to that $14, guess what happened? We dropped down to like $11. We shot back up to $12. We fell like 5% in 1 day, and then we squoze. And so, if this is the 801 to the 101, like, here's the thing, Mullen's more powerful, more better, everything. And so, if Mullen is going to, like, I'm going to tell you Mullen could squeeze in the next 2 weeks, right? But because Mullen's so much more powerful, it can literally squeeze on Monday 100%, and then Tuesday 500%, and then get halted, come down 30% on Wednesday, and go back up 400% the next. Like, you got no idea what GameStop did in January. You need to go check it out, and something better is going to happen right here. And so, the thing with AMC is it's at its 52-week low. It like, if Mullen is gonna squeeze and it's gotta have a distraction stock, what better distraction stock than the other stock that has been almost as abused as we have in AMC? And what better stock than the stock that retail has already loved? 7 million retail investors already love AMC. So why not send AMC up while they're sending Mullen up? And that way it at least divides the buying power. At least it gives them 2 people to fight rather than just 1. Does that make sense? And so, I'm super fucking stoked today that we closed at 101. I'm super fucking stoked today that, because remember, in the 801, we never went below 801 after that until we squozed to $72. And so that's why 801 is so powerful. And so if that today is our 101, not only above $1 for compliance, but 101, like, just to cement the 01, like, with some oomph. Like, I don't know, it just feels like it might be happening on Monday. But even if it takes, like, AMC could squeeze a week before, I still wouldn't put no money in AMC, hoping to cash out in AMC and get into Mullen. But, like, here's the thing, people are already invested in AMC, and it's got to go up from here. It can't go low. And so, yes, this is live, James Freezer. I don't know what you're talking about. David hasn't released that. Like, here's the thing, David can say it, but until he, like, sells the car that's driving on the road, which I think will happen well before the end of this year, until at least one car is on this road that he is claiming charges 10,000 times before you have to replace the battery, and Teslas only do 2,000 times. So every 7 years you own a Tesla, if you drive only the Tesla and you drive like a normal human being that goes to work every day, that deals with traffic, freeways, whatever, like, you are going to be replacing your battery every 7 to 10 years. With Mullen, it's every 50 years, bruh. Like, the battery lives longer than half of you. Oh, man. The Fortune 500 company, definitely coming. Fortune 500 company, like, here's the thing. So, I think there's going to be 2 squeezes with Mullen. The first squeeze where they pay the people because they know they have to. But then, like, a decent amount of us are going to sell. That's going to give them enough power to create one more story. And so I'm expecting the first squeeze. I'm expecting to take some profits. I'm expecting to buy a dip. All these good things. And then I'm expecting one major fucking, like, #1 market cap in the whole stock market squeeze. And does it happen by November 13th, which I definitely said it would on my Twitter? I don't know. We're running out of time. Like, the first squeeze got to come if we're going to get there. So, yeah. I mean, let's see. We got middle of August right now. So, if we go up, let's just say 100x in the next 30 days, that would put us at middle of September. Then we go down 90% in the next 30 days. That put us at middle of October. And then we go up 100x from there. And that would be a net 1000x gain in the next 30 days. So it looks like a 30 days, 30 days, 30 days. Like, time is running out. No news on Mullen's outstanding shares. Here's the thing. Bollinger Motors is great. When they put the Mullen technology into the Bollinger truck, like, it will be a popular thing way better than the Cybertruck. The Cybertruck is dead when Bollinger hits the streets. I'm sure of that. But I assure you, there is not going to be a better moneymaker for Mullen Automotive than the Mullen 5 RS. They will never make a better margin on a car than that car. Because that car, they could sell it for $200,000 and I'd still fucking buy it. But they're saying they'll give it to me for $90,000. The Mullen 5 RS is my bitch. I'm going to ride that bitch everywhere. Oh, man. Yeah, honestly, like, outside of just repeating myself, I really don't know what else I could say. Like, I really just came to talk about the AMC getting me real excited. And so I kind of want to stay on because it's probably been at least 2 years, maybe a year since I've had 29 live viewers on a live stream. So that's cool. I appreciate that. But, like, unless there's questions or something, like, I suggest you just start from the beginning of the video and make sure you heard every word, because I spoke some fire today. Some motherfucking fire. Let's see. I hope everyone has a good weekend. Do something special. Oh, I got one more thing I'm going to talk about. So check this out. Like, unless Mullen squeezes so hard that the world just, like, kneels to Mullen investors and we get to run the world, like, unless something like that happens, I still have a fight on my hands. Like, money ain't going to change my life. And so I've been thinking on how I want to do this whole Chick-fil-A thing. And I may have rose above Chick-fil-A in my thoughts. And I'm going to throw this out here and maybe get some feedback from you guys. But ultimately, when I read Arizona law, it suggests that you're allowed to break the law while you're protesting. If you're protesting, then it can be legal to break the law so long you don't break the laws in X, Y, or Z manner. And so what I'm considering doing is buying like a 10 by 10 pop-up tent, maybe a little bit bigger, and creating signs all around it, on top of it, and creating videos all around inside, and creating a little home inside, and saying, I will never leave this fucking area until the world changes and it's a better place and they meet my demands. First demand, Arizona has to make some type of breaks per hour's work in the state of Arizona mandatory. Because right now my boss tried to tell me he can work me for 14 hours without a break if he so desires. And I can't say a thing, and if he wants to fire me, I can't collect unemployment. Like, that shit's wild, bro. Like, I'm pretty strong and I was able to do it. But, like, if you think I'm going to stay there and fucking do it with a smile on my face forever, you're out of your goddamn mind. I'm down to work for my money, but don't fucking make me slave. That shit's wild. And so, if I find a city that says they won't arrest me if I'm sleeping overnight in the same place, and I literally put myself in a 24/7 jail, and I live there for 3 months, and I'm literally ordering, like, I have $100,000 in my account because of Mullen, and I'm ordering Uber, and I'm fucking paying people to come pick up my trash, like, whatever, just to prove a fucking point and say I'll be fucking miserable as long as it takes, because life is already miserable no matter where I'm at. So I might as well put myself in prison. That's where my head's going right now. So hopefully Moan squeezes and I have enough money to where I can like buy the right equipment and make this to where like I'm kind of comfortable in there, and like I could have like recliners, and like I'll be live streaming all the time, and like people can come in and talk with me, and like homeless people, anybody. I don't give a fuck. I just be the man that will not move, you know? Everyone knows the story of that guy. Front of my shirt, this is a weed pen. This is Goku. A lot of times, like, Goku has got me through my life. I feel like I am Goku. I feel like Goku is the mortal that becomes the god that saves all of living beings. I love the stories and all the like side stories. There's a side story on Dragon Ball right now. It's on this channel called Call Me ARJ, Arj, and it is about Goku and Vegeta fusing, killing a god, getting exiled into an infinite prison where they never die, and an angel sacrificing himself to break him out of the prison, and him becoming like starting to absorb demons and all these other things to become the most powerful thing. And right now, like every week we get an hour-long video, and right now it's the final battle of the greatest angel who protects the god that is like a child that just snaps his finger and anything he wants always happens. And it's this Goku Vegito formation devil that is fighting the angel, and I feel like I'm that devil and I've absorbed the devil. And like at the end of this story, I spit the devil out, and I'm just pure greatness. Oh, it's fucking great. Bro, don't fucking talk about spiders on my shoulder, you motherfucker. Like, I got spiders biting me and crawling on me all the time. When I slept on the streets the other night, like, there was 3 different times where I woke up in the grass and there's just like 50 ants crawling all over me and biting me and shit. Oh man, it was great. But I couldn't find nowhere I could actually close my eyes and stay asleep unless I was sleeping on the grass. What else? You know what the Bible says about spiders, snakes, and anything that might hurt you? It says it can only hurt you if you believe it can hurt you. And the example that was given in the New Testament was Paul was taken as a prisoner with 100 sailors across the sea to the Roman emperor, and they get in this huge almost wreck, and everyone almost dies, and he saves them, and they all are convinced he's a man of God. And then as they're building the fire, a snake jumps out of the logs that he's grabbing, and it bites him. And Paul grabs the snake off his arm and throws it in the fire and burns it, and it dies, and he chills. But everyone else is watching this happen, and they all start murmuring and saying, oh, I guess he wasn't a man of God. Guess he must have committed a lot of sins, because a snake don't bite you like that unless you deserve it. And then after 30 minutes, his arm hasn't swelled and he hasn't shown any sign of weakness. And they're like, wow, is he God? Is he God? You might be. No, I'm still with my girl right now. She's being super sweet to me. She doesn't really like me right now, but she loves me still. And I told her this idea about me, like, because I was supposed to be leaving, like, after the guy told me to wait till Monday. She agreed, like, let's just see what he got to say. And so I came back to stay till Monday. And then all of a sudden, like, he offered nothing. And so it kind of fucked up my world. And then I had to go to court and all this other shit. And so I had to evaluate, like I called the cops and I had a plan of how I wanted to protest at Chick-fil-A, and basically I was just going to yell such mean things to the clients until somebody decided to fight me and just go viral on YouTube fighting. And I called the police about it, and they said that they would arrest me if I said mean things to the clientele, and that I had to focus my protest on Chick-fil-A if I was going to protest. And so I had to kind of sit back and think about it for a second, because I obviously don't want to just go out there and get arrested like that. Like, I feel like I can protest better than that. Um, and so, I mean, throughout my thinking, I came up with this different idea of maybe not even protest Chick-fil-A, but rather just go find a public space, maybe even on like the Arizona Capitol or something, and just fucking create a little fortress and say this is my new home until the world changes. But that's going to cost me some money, and so I have no money, and so if my $100 in Mullen doesn't make me $100,000, I mean, I only need like $5,000 to probably do it right. I mean, because I like, when I say do it right, like I want to have a lawyer who's like, if a cop does fuck with me, he's there to protect me already. I want to build a website and like make my message real clear. Um, yeah, there's a couple things I need to do, but yeah, and then outside of that, like I'll probably create like the side to the campaign is I'm gonna be homeless. I'm gonna protest this world, and I'm not gonna do anything. And the only way you can save me is to make me a billionaire and create some type of donation to make me a billionaire. And I don't want to touch it unless it's $1 billion. And if you give me $1 billion, I'll be happy. But if not, then like I guess I'm just meant to live there till I die. All right, dudes. Have a good day.